We have the CEO of American Truck Training here today, and I really think this story is so fantastic because this customer has been with Insightly and grown with Insightly almost since Insightly became a company. So let's explore more during this episode of Closing Time. Thanks so much for tuning into Closing Time today. I'm Melinda Prescher, Insightly's Director of Product and Customer Marketing, and today I have the pleasure of hosting a special Customer Spotlight edition of Closing Time. Whether you're a weekly listener, an Insightly customer, or both, you'll find useful takeaways on how to get the most from Insightly. All right, now without further ado, I want to welcome our guest, Mr. Jerome Redmond, CEO of American Truck Training. Thanks so much for joining me today, Jerome.
Well, I'm glad to be here.
We're really so excited to have you. And to kick things off, let's have you talk a little bit about American Truck Training and how you got started with Insightly.
Sure. So basically, American Truck Training is a commercial driver's license school. So we train the big truck drivers. We got started with Insightly back in about 2012 when you guys were fairly new, I think, to the industry of CRMs as well. I researched via the internet and found what I felt was the best fit. And we've been with you ever since. And it's just been a joy because to watch not only you guys grow, but I was able to grow alongside you and build our company to having, tens and tens of thousands of leads that we've worked and thousands of folks we've trained. And it started from zero with you.
I mean, Jerome, your story is really good because it shows how, in partnership with Insightly, you've really been able to do some great things with your company. I'd love to have you dive a little deeper into how Insightly has helped you grow.
Well, here's the big thing I want people to understand is that this was also my first real business too. So I'm a guy with no formal education as it relates to owning and starting a business. And Sidely allowed me to start a business. Okay. I want to make that clear. It was simple enough to where I can start a company, not know what I'm doing, yeah, and build it into what it is today, And now we're expanding into other markets like Houston, and we're also expanding into markets like Tulsa. Here, we just literally found a property the other day, and so this is all built from Insightly. So you don't have to know anything about business. You don't even have to know anything about Insightly will help guide you and give you reference points through video, through Insightly University, all these extra things that you can learn from your success manager or from Insightly support, or you can just, if you're like me, a self-starter, you can just grab some videos online on YouTube and listen to it and know how to do it within minutes.
It's really great to hear that Insightly has helped support your success as a small business owner and help you grow. I think for you specifically, you've also mentioned that you've had some really great leadership opportunities, even beyond your company, that have really helped you expand the profile of what you all do. And I'd love to hear you talk about that.
Sure. So if I were famous for something, it would be utilize my resources, any resource I have. So I leveraged Insightly to give me back, to buy me back some of my time, obviously, right? And with that time, I was able to serve on the board of directors and I still serve on that board for the Commercial Vehicle Training Association. And what that is the association for all trucking schools throughout our nation. And because of our success, with the help of Insightly, I was deemed as a leader in the industry. Didn't think of myself as a leader in the industry, maybe a leader in my block or in my city, but in the nation. And that opened the door for me getting to speak to Congress, well, through the Ways and Means Committee. Literally on the same day they voted in the last speaker of the House, which was a lot of turmoil above that. I won't go into all that detail, but it was great to sit there in the halls of Congress, give a speech, and spend literally 6 hours going back and forward. And now they're looking at very highly likely passing this bill that will allow folks to get more, help folks get paid for training. And it's just been great. And then also another board I chair, I mean, not chair of, I'm sorry, but I'm on this board for the State Chamber of Oklahoma, which is another similar political type deal where it's the biggest and the best companies in the state of Oklahoma sit on this board. I mean, multi-billion dollar corporations. Then there's me, which makes me laugh because I'm like, they know my company doesn't do billions, right? But I'm still on this board. And some will say, hey, well, Jerome, is maybe it's because of this, maybe it's because of that. Well, honestly, your company, in my personal opinion, is only as good as the tools you use to help it grow. And if in my case, it was Insightly that helped me grow my company to like I said, a multi-million dollar corporation.
Jerome, you bring up such an important point about how important it is to have the right technology in your tech stack to help you do the things you need to do to run your business. And so I'd like you to talk, maybe do a double click on how Insightly has really helped you, and what are you actually using within Insightly to help drive great experiences for your customers.
Sure. Well, some of the newer technologies like the AppConnect, I suspect that a lot of other business owners are looking for ways to save money, right? And cut down on their expenses. So, and a lot of companies, what they do, and I won't mention the company, but I heard of a major company laying off 346 people today. Whereas what I did in my case, instead of doing, some massive layoff or something like that, I was able to utilize App Connect and some of the other components to help my workflow to where it's made us more efficient. So I don't need this. So as a say, for instance, someone did leave our company, I didn't have to replace them with someone. I allowed the apps that I utilize with App Connect to fill in the gap. If that makes sense. I just want to make sure that the folks around can understand that it's not so much just adding App Connect. It's what App Connect can do to kind of help save on your expenses and help create a better workflow and more efficiencies within your company. For instance, Ring Central. Ring Central is our voice over IP phone service that we utilize. I had no idea of that by just looking at AppConnect. And as I was researching Ring Central, part of my decision for going to Ring Central because it was a direct connection. So being able to take my phone calls in and out of from Insightly through Ring Central was great. And then so now my calls are recorded and added into Insightly. And now, with the help with your team, I was able to code it right to make sure that even my text messages go into Insightly. So that's just one thing that we utilize to make Insightly work even better for us.
Jerome, one of the things that we talked about before is just how Insightly makes it really easy to stay on top of all of the activities that your team has going on. You're really busy, your team is really busy. Talk a little bit about task management.
Sure, sure. So one of the things that is really great for my sales team, and as far as me as well, is that we use Task. In Task, how it works is that whenever you get off the phone call with a person, or you're finishing up the text messages, you can set a task for your next thing that you need to do with that particular client or prospect. So you set a task, and the task can remind you when to work with that person again, or have another conversation about what we're selling. And if I want to check in on a deal, all I have to do is select where I can follow that task. And so anytime that task has some type of change or adjustment, let's say for instance, the salesperson says, hey, I'm going to call that person, or they're going to pay for school, or whatever the situation or whatever the thing is that they have to remember. It also email me and keep me apprised of the what's going on. So it's kind of nice. I don't have to keep asking that person, oh, how's this deal going? What's going on here? What's going on? Well, it just sends me an email. It just sends me an email. And as a business owner, we're religious about our emails, right? So I'm getting constant emails from my team that's not actually from them. It's from Insightly saying, "Hey, Jerome, look what Joe over here is doing with this lead. I just want to keep you in the loop, okay?" And I'm like, "Thanks, Insightly."
Jerome, I think the other thing, in addition to tasks, that is really helpful is everybody is just so busy today. We have things coming at us from all over the place. You mentioned trying to make sure not only you're staying on top of the business, but that, making sure you know what's going on with your team. What about other things like managing calendars and so on? Is there anything you'd add there?
Sure. Well, managing calendars for us has been a really good thing because I'm a very visual person. Okay, so when I see like my team's calendar, it obviously lets me know that they're busy, and so we utilize colors in other spreadsheets and other things that we've had for that represents each salesperson. So like one salesperson is green, one salesperson's yellow, one person. So in Insightly, I can customize the color of the person. So whenever I go to look at the calendar and say Joe or the salesperson is in yellow, I can just see if there's a bunch of yellow, I know he's okay, right? If there's not enough bunch of yellow, then I know he might need to step it up a little bit. So we use events or as our calendar for our appointments. So when they set an appointment, person comes in, I can tell on the calendar who's where and who's coming. And so if the calendar's a little light coming up in the next day or so, I can actually say something about it to our team and say, hey, come on, guys, let's get this get some more on the calendar, and or maybe possibly sometimes run a spiff or some type of bonus to kind of get them to move a little bit.
That was great. So, Jerome, we hear so often that customers really love the flexibility of Insightly and just how easy it is to customize Insightly to the unique needs of their business. I'd love to have you talk about how you've customized Insightly and make it work for you.
Really good question. And we have been able to do a lot of customizations. The one that really strikes out is the way my business is built is you can kind of summarize it into three different main revenue sources: cash customers, your B2B, business to business, you have your financing, and then you have your like grants and things of that nature that agencies that help pay for school. And so with that, you have those buckets. Then for me, I like to get a little technical, but I won't go too technical now for this. But I have so many drop downs from each one of those to be able to, so my sales team can select, a specific either company, specific way to go, specific way of financing, and now it's all easy for me to just click a button and see a report on everything that's happening within my company. So I know exactly what's going on with financing. I know exactly what's going on with B2B. I know exactly what's going on with my agency folks because I can say, oh, 20% of my business is coming from this bucket. Oh, only 5% is coming from this one. Man, maybe I should figure out what to do and get that 5% up. So it's just there's and the crazy thing about it is we're not done yet. There's still plenty more to add into Insightly to make things even better for our company and give us more visibility.
That's great. Jerome, thank you so much for these insights and for joining the show. If our audience wants to learn more about American truck training, how can they do so?
Well, easily you can go to americalovestrucking.com. That's americalovestrucking.com and learn more about how to get your commercial driver's license and how we put people to work and serve our community.
And thanks so much to all of you for tuning in again. Remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss an episode. We'll see you next time on Closing Time.